Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the weekend. I hope it's been off to a great start for you. Today it's Margarete Miller Day in my world, so let's get into this collage. It is week 18 of the Margarete Miller collage assignments. So what have we got today? Something that people collect, a geometric shape with at least 5 sides, something featuring a clock or time-related element, text in a foreign language, something with a spine, and the bonus is a flower. Okay, so I'm going to start with this element here, if I can get it out from the pile. It's a book page out of a nature book, or what's it called? Atlas of the Earth, I think is the book I took it from. And it's got these gemstones, rocks, minerals, crystals, etc. on it. So something that people collect is rocks, gemstones, fossils, that type of thing. It's typically called a rock hound. It's a term used for somebody who does that. And I have to say that my husband and I are rock hounds. He probably more so, to be fair, than I am. He's been into it since he was a little boy. I've always picked up stones and things I found pretty or interesting, but never sort of worried about what they were, or, you know, what the proper name was for this pretty piece of stone that I picked up. And then when we got married, of course, my interest grew as his, you know, he was right into identifying and everything. And we'd go out together and go hunting for pretty pieces. And then a while back, oh, can't even remember what year, 2005, 2004, 2005 maybe, I was working at the Canterbury Museum, and I got to go and eyeball and check off all the geological samples that they had stored at the museum. And that was fun, and I learnt some things there, because how can you not? You know, you're seeing stuff. And it was really interesting because some of them were in special lead boxes because they're actually radioactive. So you just kind of had to, the box was there, assume that the actual material was inside the box, because not actually safe to, you know, we weren't given hazard pay. Not safe to open it and check, eyeball it, for those ones that were actually dangerous to handle, or things like that. So yeah, interesting. My love of geology grew at that point, combined with my husband's affection for it. So my story today is around this little boy. This is something with a spine, who's a budding rock hound. Now, he does have a fishing net in his hands, because he was in the picture, he was actually out fishing. But we're going to just kind of add that into our story and say that he's borrowed his dad's fishing net to collect his rock samples in. Because he's a young boy, he doesn't understand that it might damage it, that it's not the appropriate tool. He just thought, that's cool, I'll take that and put my precious rocks and stones in it. So here's our something with a spine, and we've got rocks down the bottom here. So we've got these minerals, but we've also got rocks here, because he's a budding rock hound, and he's down at the river, which is quite often where we will go when we are hunting for stones. Okay, so before I glue anything else, I'm going to kind of compose the rest now. I just knew that this was going to go at the back. Something featuring a clock or time rate related element. I've got this interesting graphic. It's out of the same book. It is the periods of the Earth's history represented over the course of a year. So it goes January to February. January to February. No, January to December. That makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? So January to December, and then they've allocated the proportion of each period of the Earth's history along that timeline. And it ends at this clock here, where the last period is actually only 4 hours out of the year. So in reality, it's however long that is. I don't know, 1,000 years. We'll just say 1,000 years because I don't know. But when it's all represented over the period of a year, it only equates to 4 hours. So I just thought it was really interesting, and it's a clock. So thought we might pop it in here somewhere. I think I'll end up trimming the top off and just like however much we have of it will be fine. Just liked it. It was just interesting to me. And he's learning about all the science behind rocks and minerals and stuff, because he's a budding geologist, budding rock hounder. So he's also being taught all the information about how these rocks came to be, how they're formed, where they're formed. So I think that fits the story. A flower. Well, I have this picture of a foxglove here. This was out of a different book. This was out of the Family Guide to Nature. We often have foxgloves growing down at the river here in New Zealand. So I thought, well, while he's out at the riverbed, there's a foxglove just kind of peeping out from behind him. So riverbed flower, we're bringing our things together. Okay, text in a foreign language. I grabbed out a book in Spanish and then remembered my new digital, which is the sheet music covers. Gosh, I had to pull that out of my brain. I was only finishing it up this morning. And it's got this section here where some of the names of the songs, or not songs so much as, what do you call it? Sections of music, let's say, are in different languages. So minuet, valse, which I'm assuming is waltz in a different language, polka, joy, I can't even say it. I don't know how to say it, so let's just leave it at that. It's foreign language. Foreign being not English, because I'm an English speaker, obviously. So I wondered whether we could actually pop this in as our text in a foreign language. So this is printed at 4 to a page. Each of the sheet music covers is a full-size page, but I've just printed this off smaller for my project in yesterday's video, or the day before's, I don't know, whatever video it was. It's all kind of blending together because I'm recording ahead so that I can go off and spend the day with my mum tomorrow. So yeah, time is all kind of blurring into just one big conglomerate of pretty stones. Okay, so will that fit if we just pop it in there? Yep, I think that will work. So I'm going to put that down first now that I've worked out it's going to work. I left this text on the side of this book page in case we just needed it to fill a gap in the background. I thought, well, may as well use what's already there rather than cut it off and then hunt for something else to fill the gap. And while he's out rock hounding, he's listening to music. So that's how the music comes into it. He's listening to music while he's hunting for his precious stones. Oops, getting a bit caught up there. Okay, now where am I going to put the prompts? I was actually thinking I'd put them in under there and forgot. So maybe we'll turn this into a belly band then. So I'm going to trim it off at the top of September. So sorry about the rest of the months. You're You're out of here. You are gone. So on there, and we could tuck our prompts in there. So let me cut these down a tad. Just going to straighten up the bottom. This top edge here is the straight edge, so I'm going to use that to make my edges straight first, because all the rest of them I think were a bit wonky. Okay, cut that down. Okay, so I don't need much of a space there for a belly band, so let's just kind of hold it in place and leave a gap so that it's not difficult to get it in and out, but that it's not too loose either and just falls out, because that's really annoying if you have something that just keeps falling out every time you turn the page. Right, I think that's fine. And also says Happy Days of Childhood. So I think that title really, really works with this image of the boy out hunting for rocks, because they are happy days hunting for rocks. Okay, I'll get to the geometric shapes soon, because that's kind of going to go right on top somewhere. Where precisely, I actually don't know. Not yet. Right, I'm just wondering, do we want to put a bit of the Spanish book page in behind here? I think I am going to, just so it's not plain. And it's just going to be texture, so no real addition to the story. Maybe he's also studying Spanish at school. That's a good stamping strip there. The plain bit at the bottom. And we don't need it ultra wide, but we'll just do it a little bit wider. Actually might take this side because we haven't got that plain gap. And I'll take the top off as well. Yeah, just fills in that gap a little bit, something in behind him. So he's been a very good student. He's learning all about the rocks and things that he's hunting. And he's got a good dad who helps teach him. Although I don't know whether he'd be happy about the whole fishing net thing. But we'll just assume the boy's very careful and it goes home undamaged and full of goodies. So I might have to trim a little bit off the edge of the plant image. But we'll glue it down and then I'll worry about that. The geometric, is it geometric? Yeah, geometric shape with at least 5 sides doesn't totally fit with the story, but it is more of a nod to my and my husband's personal rock hounding exploits, shall we say. And that one time we took a holiday, and it's the only holiday we've had in the snow, down at a place called Mount Somers. And Mount Somers was a volcano. I believe it was a volcano, long since extinct. But there's lots of agates down at Mount Somers. Very popular place for geology clubs to go hunting for agates, which are a volcanic stone or mineral that they throw out. And they come in all sorts of colours, orange and green and clear, and black. So we used to go there semi-regularly, but we haven't been for years. But one year we went down and there was like a foot of snow on the ground, and it snowed while we were down there. And we spent a couple of days over the course of that holiday walking up and down in the water through the rivers hunting for agates. And so my geometric shape is snowflakes because they are six-sided. So I've got this picture here, again out of this book, or maybe the other book, so either one of these books, with some enlarged imagery of snowflakes. And I thought, let's just check that goes in there. I'll slide it in from the other side maybe. Yep. If I slide in this way, it runs into the edge of this paper. So if I go that way, it's all good. So let's pop our boy on there now. So the snowflakes are just kind of a nod to my own experience. Yes, it was cold. We both had boots on, like good solid boots, work boots, and thick woolen socks, but it was cold. It was cold, but it was so much fun. Like, it was an experience, not something I would have normally done, not something I'd ever done before that, and not something I've done since. But I have great memories of that. And I found a few lovely wee agates. I always go for the little ones, and hubby always looks for the biggest ones he can find. I like the cute, the little treasures, and he likes the big hunking treasures. So he's happy if he finds one big treasure. I'm happy if I find one little treasure. But I found a few little ones that on one day when we went to one of the rivers, and then I think the next day we went to a different river. There's a few, three, one's a creek really, not really a river. There's three in the area that are really good to go to hunt for. But it just depends on timing as to whether the geology club have been through recently and whether they've got picked out all the good bits before you arrive, which is a bit of the luck of the draw. Okay, I didn't want him quite so far over because he's covered over some of the minerals, but that's all right, that's fine. I'm glad I did put that strip of Spanish paper in there, because it still works fine. We still have enough of an idea that's what he collects. So let's look at the snowflakes. Do I want to put them just in one? No, I don't. I want to kind of cut them into their shapes so that you get the idea of them with their different sides. So let's cut them all apart and then kind of cut one side, two sides, three sides, 4, 5, and side number 6. Yeah, I think that will be a lot prettier than just putting them all down in one hit. Don't worry, I'm not going to say number the sides as I cut them all out. That would just be a bit inane really, wouldn't it? Maybe a bit annoying. I think I would find it annoying myself, and I would be the one saying it, so. I think it's fascinating when you see these images of snowflakes. They're so detailed, so intricate, and so beautiful. One more and done. So let's get rid of all this junk. And there's a gap up here, so I think we'll put a couple, maybe down there, because I don't want them kind of too much in a line, if you like. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So maybe this little boy, it actually starts snowing while he's out hunting rocks. He's got his gumboots on, he's got a hat on, although he looks like he's more dressed for warmer temperatures. He's got a flannel shirt on though, or a jacket actually. It's a flannel jacket with like polar fleece or knit sleeves there. So I don't know, maybe it is cold. Maybe he is dressed for a potential snow. He hasn't got gloves. We definitely no, actually we didn't have gloves because they would have just got wet in the water when we were digging, you know, putting our hands in to grab a stone out of the water. Gloves wouldn't have really made sense unless they were rubber gloves, which we didn't have, and they wouldn't have been that warm, I don't think. So no, we wouldn't have been wearing gloves. I definitely remember the boots. I remember the boots and the socks, and I remember that I had a scarf on, and I'm pretty sure I had a hat as well. I must have, because I would have been freezing. Adventures, that's what it was. It was adventures, and we had to hire chains for the car. Right, so let's review our little collage and the story. So, something that people collect: rocks, gemstones, minerals, fossils, etc. A geometric shape with at least 5 sides is our snowflakes because it's snowing. Something featuring a clock is this representation of periods of the Earth's history, ending at this clock down the bottom. Text in a foreign language, we have the whatever language is on here and the Spanish book page. Something with a spine is our little budding rock hound, this little boy, and the bonus is the foxglove flower down at the riverbed. So there we go, that is today's collage. I hope you enjoyed the wee story, and a few little tidbits of my own personal history slipped in there. I don't know if you noticed. Okay, thanks for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. I will be back on Monday with the new Deal It Up challenge. I will see you then, I hope. Take care.